Policies and procedures are really important, and they're important because people are doing this often in the midst of very busy lives, and they need to know clearly and concisely and helpfully what is it that will produce a healthy environment. And so they need to know that if I follow these guidelines, if I follow these procedures, I've done what I need to do, and I'm fulfilling my responsibilities towards those who are vulnerable within our midst.
Child-safe organisations develop and embed clear policies and procedures to guide practice and keep children safe. Best practice models provide an expected standard of behaviour that are understood and implemented by all staff. Families and stakeholders have a shared understanding of expectations and keep the organisation accountable.
The first level of policy and procedure that keeps kids safe is the legislative ones. So things like the working with children checks and making sure that everybody has those and that they're current, that sort of level of compliance, I guess. For us, we've just moved to a compliance system that really helps us manage risks and safety and ensures that we're updating and following the necessary timeframes for updating training. It also keeps us informed of any updates to legislation that may affect us.
It's really important that all of our policies and guidelines are accessible to all of our staff members. We're putting through this message that they are so important and we need staff to follow them. And so currently we have them on our staff intranet page. We also have them on our actual Cumberland City Council website, where our community members are actually able to access them as well.
Our policies and procedures are accessible, they're publicly accessible, so they're on our website, but if anybody requested them, they're certainly available.
Policy documents should be made available in a child-friendly format so children have a clear understanding of what's appropriate. This can also help them know when to speak up and what will be done if they feel uncomfortable.
Clear policies and procedures are vital in an early learning environment because everybody needs to know exactly their boundaries. They need to know how to interact with children appropriately and respectfully.
One of the reasons clear policies and procedures in the recreational space are so important to the Y is that we are physically working so closely with children and young people. For example, gymnastics and swimming instructors will often need to touch their students to help guide them to learn certain skills. So it's really important our staff understand and follow our safe behaviours policy to ensure this is done in a way that enables children and young people to feel safe.
It's important to really have clear and easily understood policies and procedures, because if an educator is faced with a tricky situation, or it might even be a critical incident, where they have to make a response or act some way, then if they know the policy, they know what the correct response is. And these responses have been carefully thought about and reflected upon by the management in consultation with peak bodies like ASEQA and Office of Children's Guardian to bring about the policies and to determine the right response for this action.
So how do you know if you're meeting Standard 10? Ask yourself these questions in relation to your policies and procedures. How do we make our policies and procedures specific to our organisation? Have we made our child-safe policies and procedures publicly available and easy to understand? How do we know staff are implementing child-safe policies and procedures? What happens if policies and procedures are not followed? Take a screenshot to save these for later. Visit the Office of the Children's Guardian's resource page for free training and resources on creating a child-safe culture. Contact the Child Safe Officer for your sector for more specific assistance on implementing the standards.